But bears on my meat is very common here. Whoa, look at that. There goes trees. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I really got to watch it out here today. I mean, I just survived a violent rollover crash. I don't need a tree on me. This is crazy. Welcome to my life. It's always an adventure. My family encouraged me to start filming my adventures, so I always have great stories, it seems. So welcome to the ride. My name is Darren Houstra. I'm 58 years old. I live in Ridgway, Colorado in the beautiful San Juan Mountains. My survival expertise are definitely hunting related. To date, I have killed 59 big game animals, and that includes deer and elk and bear. Also, small game, lots of small game, turkeys, grouse, rabbits, what have you, right down the line. Taken lots of game. So definitely hunting is my area of expertise. I've fished all over the United States, Alaska, Canada, provinces in Canada. Lots of experience with fishing. I build my own fishing lures. I build primitive style fishing rod. These are tools that I use and catch fish on, and would be very proficient with that in the show. Okay, so here's my primitive fishing pole design. What's cool about this is the fishing reel is a two position, one position for reeling and one position for casting. And the way that works is pretty simple. To cast it, you push up, rotate 90 degrees, drop her down, it's locked into position. Now you're just in a regular open face reel fishing position. After you cast, simply rotate her back into the reeling position and just crank away. Also, I have a homemade fishing lure right there. The pole is just a simple stick, and I've got wire eyelets tied on there, and it works pretty darn good if I don't say so myself. Some of the shelters that I've built most recently, I built one that has insulated walls. It's a double wall and it's insulated with punk wood, a fireplace inside, and an elevated bunk, which keeps you off the ground, keeps you away from most of the environments, but most importantly, keeps you warm, keeps you where all the heat is. The heat is up high, and that's where you want to be. The fireplace being inside of the shelter and venting straight out the roof is a large thermal mass that once it's heated up, it keeps pushing out heat, whether there's a fire going or not. And so maintaining that and keeping that heat going keeps you very warm and comfortable, especially in Arctic environments. Fire starting methods that I've used have been a bow drill and a ferro rod. I've taken that one step further, and I've developed an innovative way to start fires where if you injured an arm and you could only had one arm, you could work that bow drill with one arm and it might save your life. Creative thinker, very innovative, and it works. Bear encounters are very common when I'm coming back to a kill site to retrieve my meat for pack out. I've had bear on my meat multiple times, and I've had to deal with bear. Now, this is a potentially very dangerous situation, as the bear claims that as his kill, and he will defend it. One of the most dangerous situations that I've been in when I was coming back to a kill site to retrieve my meat. Approaching the kill site. There are bear tracks on it. On the trail. Let's see if there's something there. Frickin' bears ate it up. Right there. And the bear had just bed down right here.
And look at, I think these are the hairs of Big Black, the one I've been after. Check this out. Bears, when they walk, they put their front foot right on their back foot. And he's walked right on down to the bottom. This particular case, I killed an elk in the evening. All done. Meat's deboned. It's in the 4 game bags. Now I'm going to go tie this stuff up in the trees. Get these game bags up off the ground. And see about getting out of here. Come back tomorrow and start getting all this meat out. Next morning I come in and I find that there are bear tracks in my boot tracks in the snow, and the bear had actually followed me for a ways. I think it realized that the scent was getting weaker as I got blood on my boots. It thinks it's probably tracking a wounded animal. The bear turned around and backtracked, and the first thing that it came to was my meat that was tied up in 2 different trees. The bear tore open the bags and had a feast. I come in on this situation, bear tracks everywhere. I know the bear is nearby. I got a can of bear spray, which can be a good deterrent. I gather up all the meat the best I can, get it out of the place I call the abyss, down in this great big hole, get it into a safer location, and ultimately get it all back to the vehicle where I weed through it to find the usable pieces of meat. Foraging isn't one of my strongest points. However, I do have experience with identifying certain mushrooms, and I've picked them and ate them. Lots of them here in the Rocky Mountains that are very edible. Check this out. Walking along here in the forest, and we've got some boletes. Must have just popped up. We had a bunch of rain. Oh yeah. Look at that. There's another one. And another one. Oh, that sucker's in there. Oop. Got popped off. Grab that stem. All right. Boletes. I began archery hunting when I was 13 years old. When I first started, I had no idea what I was doing. It took me 13 years to harvest my first deer with a bow. Since then, I've taken 17 deer, including whitetail and mule deer. So the other day, I went up into the mountains and I got me an oak log. I carved it out into this, the bow. Sinew bowstring. What you do is you break it down into these fibers, and they're like really super strong strings, and you take a bunch of those and then you do a reverse twist. Basically you make this rope out of it, and so they're short pieces, and you feed them in as you go, and basically you get this really long rope, which is the bowstring. Here's the bow that I made. I'll tie this bowstring onto this part of the bow, but first I gotta stretch it and shrink it, because as you can see, that's a pretty big diameter. It'll shrink up to about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm gonna soak it in hide glue, and then I'll stretch it. I'll hang it, put a weight on the bottom of it, and it'll pull and shrink really tight, and it'll look entirely different. And I'll show you that when it's done. So today we are tanning my bear with brains. That's right, we're gonna brain tan this bear skin. So I've got the skin all cleaned up. We're doing it indoors today because outdoors it's snowy and yucky. So I got it indoors and I've got the skin all scraped down, ready to go. And there's our bowl of brains. And we're just gonna paint it on, just like painting a house. We'll let that sit on overnight, and then we'll work it down into a nice leather tomorrow. Arr. Okay, so here it is, the moment you've all been waiting for. Will brains tan a skin or not? You can be the judge. I'm gonna turn this bear skin over. I've been working this puppy pretty much all day. And here's what we got. Pretty much like a chamois. I do believe brains can tan a skin the old Indian way. It works. Being alone, isolated, I don't think that's gonna bother me. I mean, I enjoy it. A lot of folks, they really struggle with that. And it's mind over matter. Yeah, how bad do you want it, you know, at the end of the day? Why do I apply to be on the Alone Show? There's a lot of reasons. Number one, it's where I belong, in the forest. That's what I've done all of my life. Very comfortable there. I had to recently close a business due to circumstances beyond my control. After putting a monumental effort into the business, basically losing all kinds of money in 10 years of my life, I'm sitting down going, what the heck do I do? Why can't I make money doing something I love? That was kind of the question that stayed in my head for a while. And then I sat down and watched the Alone Show, and it clicked. I think I need to be on that show. Is there a restroom out here? I guess, yeah, maybe right there. That looks good. This is bear country, so I need some protection.